This is ENR Radio Podcast. We are back, and I am here. I am Deadward, and I'm here with my cohort in crime.
Deadberg? I don't know where the other one was going to go.
Well, sorry, I'm just Deadward. You can be Rocky Rich.
Rocky, which is perfectly fine.
You can be whatever you want, man. This is the New Age Outlaws.
New Age Outlaws. So you want to just create a new name every week to see how long we can keep it going?
Absolutely. I just keep going until I say the same thing twice, and then we'll just cancel this podcast and start anew.
Okay. Anyway, this is episode 2.
Episode 2.
April 5th, 2021.
Start date.
To start off, let's talk about what's been going on in our weeks. What's been going on your week, Eddie?
My week, I've been opening Pokemon cards, man. I've been opening up Pokemon cards, and I've been making weed videos. So I've been opening Pokemon packs. Last week, we were talking about how crazy Pokemon has been and how expensive cards are and all kinds of craziness, right? So I've been buying them. I've been getting into it. I'm finally taking the plunge. I'm picking my nose and inserting Pokemon cards inside to stop the bleeding, and we are there. Now, have you checked out any of the videos that I've been posting there, Rick?
I have seen the weed video that you have posted, or you have sent to me. And I was watching it, and I was like, that white stuff looks like heroin. Hopefully it's not heroin. I saw the Pokemon. I didn't see the Pokemon video, but I saw the aftermath photo, like a bunch of holographic cards, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know any of these Pokemon, but that card quality, pretty good, pretty stellar quality on those cards.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that makes them even so sought after nowadays, right? Like the artwork is so cool and everything else, and so like the video you watched me do, that was the one that I made for Easter, right? That is me and my son. We're opening up a booster box from the newest deck coming out. It's called Battle Styles. The coolest card that we got last night was that rainbow card in the front. But I have another video on there, and you got to check it out, man, because it's like I have it on Facebook. I put it on Instagram. It's more like in my story or whatever.
Yeah.
But like it's a little bit lengthy. I've been trying to kind of cut them down. So it's like if I do a big old box like that, I'm not doing like an hour-long video. I'll just keep cutting it down to like opening each pack so you can see like, 20, 30-second videos or whatever, you know what I mean? Opening a pack, seeing what's inside, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the other day, I was saying, like literally into the camera, I was like, man, I would really hope to open this card. This card is super crazy, blah, 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 right? And then next thing you know, I opened that literal card. Like me and Max, we were flipping out. We're like, oh man, oh man, oh man. I was like, I can't believe it. I was just like, wouldn't it be cool if I opened this card? And then all of a sudden that card was in the pack. I was like, wow, it's all gold and super shiny and crazy. Like, I'll send you a picture of it so you can at least see what the picture looks like.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Like I said, that video was something. What about you, Rich? What's been going on with you now lately?
First, this week was spring break. Well, whatever spring break that we've gone has only been like 3 days, spring break and then a weekend. When it was the real kicker was Wednesday, because Wednesday DJ came up from his home and we just went to this place, Round One. Have you heard of Round One, Eddie?
No, that's got to be something new.
Yes, it is very, very, very new. So Round One is basically a miniature Dave & Buster. So in Round One, they have
downstairs, upstairs. Where is that?
Oh, that is the second floor. It's pretty. They have their own entrance, so it's definitely there. And the mall is closed; they're open.
It'd be funny if that's was
also
like,
good.
Where my old job was.
No, it's not. No, it's not by Williams Sonoma.
Because that'd be funny. They got rid of us and put in a fucking Dave & Buster's. We can't teach you how to cook anymore. We can get you guys to spend your money.
Exactly. Speaking of spending money, they have a miniature bowling alley. They have karaoke. They have bull riding, trampolines, basketball, and shit. And then they have a plethora of arcade machines and those shitty rail shooters with like Tomb Raider and like Halo and shit. Mm-hmm. They have House of the Dead. One House of the Dead machine. One. And they have no Time Crisis. They have no Time Crisis. You know Time Crisis? The like you go to a theater.
I
You
know
go
what Time
for,
Crisis is, man. I'm older than you. Of course I know what Time Crisis is. I said wow when you said they didn't have it. That's why you didn't hear me. I was like, wow. I was like, no Time Crisis. You have only House of the Dead, like one.
No, they have. I think it's the reboot. I think they have House of the Dead reboot because the reboot looks way cleaner than the original shitty 24 polygon House of the Dead people that just have terrible whatever.
Yeah.
Terrible voice acting and everything. But so that is beside the point. So House of the Dead,
Was it worth it?
It was worth it because I like House of the Dead. It's not
No,
Time
I mean
Crisis.
like the overall experience at this place. Was it worth it?
Oh, of course it was. We Well, see, here's the beauty of most of the games are for kids, and that's understandable because they have kids that go there. However, there's one section by the House of the Dead machine where it's nothing but arcade cabinets. So they have like a whole arcade cabinet filled with like 50 fighting games. They have Street Fighter 4 on there. They have
you can play any of these games.
5 on there. Yes, you can play these games.
That is dope. That is dope. See, because I was getting ready to tell you this place called Decades in the city here. Like, me and my friend went there, right? He was like, "Oh, let's go over there and let's see what it's like." I've never been there, and I was like, "Okay, it's a new thing. It's on my side of town, right?" So I was like, "All right, like I got my kids with me." He's like, "Bring them along," you know what I mean? So I was like, "All right," so took my kids over there. We're having fun. Me and him are having drinks. They're playing in the arcade games, right? But the thing that's stupid about Decades is that it's only so big a place, which like your place too, right? Which I hate when you're like talking about, oh, there's a bowling alley and other stuff, right? Because you can't add that many lanes. And the bowling experience isn't even all that great, right? Because say I want to bowl, why would I go to you instead of going to one of the actual bowling alleys out here? You know what I mean? Where I can actually have a lot of fun too, playing with more people, more friends, more all that. But besides that, right, Decades, half the shit they don't work. The other half they don't let you try, right? You know what I mean? Like I was sitting there, man, there was a Nintendo 64 sitting there. Now that's my era, right? You know what I mean? Like I fucking had Nintendo 64. I'm like, can we play that? They were like, no. I'm like, why the fuck do you have it sitting out for? Oh, that's because on Wednesday we have a retro day. I'm like, then put it the fuck away. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna have me sit here, right, looking, and you paint yourself as a retro gaming experience, right? And the one retro game I want to play, you don't even fucking let people. Because that was the thing too, right? Like you have to have like. I mean, maybe they changed it now, but I guess I had to be a friend or something. You know what I mean? I had to know somebody or sign a petition to be able to play. Like, who the kind of dumb shit is that? Like, again, you're a retro gaming place. Like, I would never walk into an arcade and be like, "Can I play the X-Men arcade game?" And they'd be like, "Next week." I'm like, but it's there right now. Like, it's there right now. I can see it. I could actually touch it if I walk over there. No, sir. It's not allowed. You can't. Next week, maybe. Next week. And then, too, they were dealing with tokens. Which is like, what the fuck is that, right? You're going to deal with tokens.
They still use tokens over there?
At Decades, yeah, they purposely use tokens to raise you out of your money, right? Because they'd be like, oh, instead of like a normal fucking person using quarters, right? And you try to half-ass this arcade experience, make me get tokens. The machines will eat your tokens. I went up to them and I was like, hey, your machine ate my tokens. And they were like, okay, right? Like not like not like the old school, right? Where it's like, oh, you ate my token, therefore you give me a new token.
Yes.
They're like, nah, it's not happening like that. I was like, oh, okay. So all those things aside, I'm like, nah. They're not worth my business or any business, really. Like for all that, you could go to all of those places individually. I hate it.
And this is why I suggest that you take your kids to round one.
Yeah, exactly. And I would do that. I'd be like, you know what? That sounds more legit.
Now you can teach them the soul crushing experience of fighting someone who knows how to play a 20-year-old game.
I know.
For 5 hours.
We're playing Street Fighter Third Strike. Get in there. I don't know how to parry, and you never will.
Yeah, and that's the funny part about it. We were only at that arcade section like the whole night, and since DJ was here, he wanted to go. Oh yeah, they have Tekken there too. They have Tekken Tag 2. They only have Tag 2.
I never cared for any of the Tekken tags,
and they only have that. And I was playing DJ there for like a good 5 minutes. DJ plays Tekken, so he knows basically like most of the fucking moves. Not every character. He only plays like 3 characters.
No, and all their moves.
Of course he does. he basically almost he basically beat me a few times because he knows how to do the fucking Hwoarang's moves and shit. Fuck Hwoarang.
I know, right? He's like a button masher character.
And
So you want to get some real skill, yo. You need to learn how to play King, yo.
Ken?
King, not Ken.
No.
King.
No one is trying to play fucking King, Eddie. I hate King.
Yeah.
Everyone hates King. No one likes King. Who likes
That's
King?
because they suck, yo. I'm telling you. If you were good at grappling, yo, King's a beast.
Who wants to get up in the morning on a Saturday, beautiful Saturday morning,
and put on a cheetah mask?
Birds of trip and say, I want to go play King. No one does that. Who wants to play King?
First off, listen, man, the game is almost older than you, okay? So if you're waking up just to go play the fucking game, you might as well play King at least once.
No. See, the game is older than me, and I will still never touch King in my life.
That's why you're a terrible person. We talked about this last time, actually.
I will touch Marduk, and that'll probably be it. I don't even want to touch Armor King because I don't even like Armor King either.
Why would anybody even touch Armor King anyway?
Because Armor King is the cooler version of King.
No, he's not. See, this is how I know you're still a child. He said the mecha version is better than the real version. Nobody touches it.
He's just a dude. He's just a black cheetah mask and body armor.
Sometimes it's yellow or it's white cheetah man. Whatever. I don't fucking know. Are there black cheetahs? Isn't that a panther?
Yes.
See.
Yes.
See, all right. Just for you people listening out there, we do not really know the feline kingdom. All like
so, there's no point in trying to learn what cat is going to eat you next. We don't need it. For defense, no, they're going to eat you, girl.
That's true. I mean, look, you got to go for King is like the ultimate troll character, right? In Tekken, besides, of course, the dinosaur that farted and had boxing gloves.
Dinosaur.
Yeah, again, before your time, it was like Tekken 3. Tekken 3, like one of the secret characters of the game was a tiny little dinosaur who had boxing gloves.
Eddie, I may be younger than you, but I have played Tekken 3.
Then how come you don't know the person I'm talking about?
Yeah, because I haven't played Tekken 3 since I was 5.
Then why are you even saying I played?
I have played Tekken 3, but most of my time has been spent playing Tekken 5 on the PSP.
That'd be like me asking you if you played Mario 64. And you're like, yeah, I got Mario All-Stars for the Switch.
I mean, yeah, I have played Tekken.
No, because you're going to tell me that's like 60 FPS. Mario no longer has a block for a nose. It's cylindrical now. He looks like a regular portly Italian.
He does not look like he does not look like that even now. They know.
They put Mario on the Jared Subway plan.
Change that. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Jared. Oh.
They're like, Mario, listen, man, you're getting too fat to be fighting this giant flying lizard, man. You gotta fucking lose some weight. Can't be picking up Princess Peach and running away from fireballs when you're 300 pounds.
He's still gonna do it because no big man can jump that. No big man is that flexible. Besides, like Bob or something. Fucking Tekken.
What about E Honda?
E Honda, he just knows how to throw his body weight around in a perfectly planking manner.
That man knows how to fly. Come on, yo. Like, I always get mad, too, that you end up fighting him in a bathroom. But then, he does that weird... And he, like, flies up into the air and, like, hits you. It doesn't hit you with his fucking stomach. He, like, flies up and gets you.
Yeah, he hits you with his asshole, With the...
fat
I don't remember what it's called, but... So that was the Wednesday. Then for the rest of the week, we just hung out, talked about things, trying to get DJ to find what he wants to do with his life. Basically being a good host, trying to get him out the house and, cheering him up. He was pretty down for the past couple of days.
Does he live with you or something?
Oh, no, he was just living with us for like 5 days. He's in here Wednesday. He left early this morning.
Damn, yeah, that's crazy. You're like, he was here 5 days and I was trying to get him out of the house. Listen, man, you gotta stop being depressed. Damn, with friends like that, who needs enemies? He was...
But that was my week. I'm glad that he came up here. I can tell that he needed this. We all needed to see him, and it was a good time. It was a very very good
school up here.
No, he moved back home,
so he's not in college anymore at all now.
Mm-hmm, not at all.
How can you guys not finish Millersville? It's so cheap.
Some people, college just isn't for a lot of people.
I understand that, To be honest, sometimes it isn't even that it's for people. Sometimes it's not for you at the time.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Most definitely.
Because again, I mean, think about it for me, right? Like, I'm 33. I only graduated last year from college at 32. It took me like 8 years to do it. You know what I mean? Like, because I had to put myself through it. I had to do it all myself. Having family obligations or just life obligations, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I guess I can take this semester off, or I have to. It's not that I can or whatnot. You know what I mean? And then it's like I started off at, community college, and I did a semester, and I was like, man, fuck this. And then I went back to like working in the regular work field. And then I was like, fuck this. And then I was like, I need to get a fucking career. So now that I'm doing this, and now that I have the ability, I mean, I met you, my co-host, going through my third stint of college. So, I mean, that wasn't too bad. And here we are now. Because again, I did it. I actually had like 4 stints in college, right? Because I went to a community college for a semester. And that's when after I decided I had to do it on my own, because my father wouldn't help me, and I wasn't old enough to use my own shit. Because this is the stupid thing about this fucking country, right? You're going to strong arm me pretty much into getting an expensive education, right? Because nowadays we don't make anything anymore. So it's very hard to get a fucking job, right? Doing what your grandfather did. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, there were fucking people that were like, my whole family's been plumbers or whatever. You don't see that shit much nowadays. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that actually nowadays, because it's like, oh, people want to see certifications, you know what I mean? And all this crazy shit. Like your grandpa's not handing you a certification because he taught you how to fix a sink in your house. But you should, you know what I mean? Like if I can go to the fucking public library and teach myself all that shit, why do I need to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a fucking education?
Because capitalism.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's all, you know what I mean? Like it's stupid as shit. Because again, too, like for instance, like I said, I made a conscientious choice, right? Because it was like, once I said I couldn't get my father to help me, right? I was like, well, I got to pay off this debt first, because I won't just let you continue to go and pile up debt without paying, right? Especially when you're doing it all out of pocket. So it took me like, a couple years to pay that shit off. Then I went back, and then I was like, well, now I'm going to go as far as I can go, and then I'm going to transfer to Millersville. And then so I consider that a different stint, you know what I mean? Because I didn't transfer right away anyway. I took a semester off, then I transferred, then I went to Millersville. Then I went to Millersville for about 2 semesters, and then I had to quit again because I ended up having 2 different hand surgeries, and then I had to get another job and all this other stuff. So then finally, when I come back is when I ended up meeting you guys, or at least just you. There's nobody else here right now, but all of our friends and all the shit we did when we made movies and all that stuff. And then I'm out. So it's like, again, too, that took like 8 years. So I totally understand when it's like, it's not for me, or you think it's not for you, and then you try to do shit your own way and whatever else. It's like, too, I know that you could do a podcast, whatever, and all this shit yourself. You know what I mean? Without going to school and whatever, because people are doing it. So I'm not going to sit here and say you do. But like personally, for me, I never would have really thought about it. You know what I mean? Like I never would have wanted. I wanted to be a scientist. I didn't want to be a radio person. But here we are.
I mean, the world works in mysterious ways, man.
Absolutely, it does, man. Just like the Shining Charizard.
I just saw the photo of that Charizard, or that card that you sent me. That was a Charizard, right?
No, the one I sent you was of that card that I opened, that I told you that video is of. That's the last card I opened out of that pack, that gold card.
What is this thing I am looking at right now? I don't know what this thing is.
I don't even know what it is. Apparently, it's like Eternity or some shit.
Eternity has now become a Pokemon.
Well, it was a Marvel character.
What?
Yeah, man.
Okay, so all I'm seeing is just a bunch of geometric shapes in black and gold. It's kind of stylish. It's pretty stylish. Not gonna lie about that one. It's very stylish. But okay, on to something that I have been watching lately. So over the weekend, right? Have you been keeping up with these HBO Max movie releases that they've been talking about for a while?
Sort of. Yes. I mean, I have HBO Max. So, I mean, I've torn at myself, right? Because I have like a 65, 70-inch curved 4K TV. It's amazing, but...
Okay, flexing. Okay, yeah, that's flexing. Okay.
It's not working. It's not working right now. So it's like, I got to have somebody from Samsung come and fucking look at it. So that's why I'm not really flexing, because the TV is broken. so it's I have HBO Max. All these awesome movies are coming out, and I refuse to fucking watch them. because I have this old school TV that I have that just isn't pretty anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's a fucking
I get
it's
that.
a Vizio LED fucking it was LED. It was like the first LED TVs that came out in like 2011. I bought this TV.
I understand the frustration that you.
Yeah, I mean it's not quite as bad as going back to a tube TV, but it's still pretty terrible after you're like, oh shit, the liquid running off of the fucking Iron Man face in the rain is amazing. And now I'm like, I can't even tell this is 1080.
Well, to talk more about the HBO stuff.
Are we going in the direction of King Kong Godzilla?
Yes and no.
Are we going in the direction of Mortal Kombat on April 16th then?
Yes. We
All right.
are going to the direction of Mortal Kombat. So, movies have been dropping left and right. They dropped the Snyder Cut, I think, last week or two weeks ago.
What cut?
The Snyder Cut for Justice.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's why I was mad at you.
I will probably never see that movie, but
you lie.
I will get there. I will get there. When I get there, it's gonna happen sometime. But
see, this is why I was telling you to do. I can't even remember what I was telling you to do, and you're like, I'll never do that. And I'm like, are you gonna watch this Snyder's Cut movie? And you were like, yeah. And I'm like, then you got time for this, motherfucker.
I do, and I won't use it for Snyder Cut.
I'm telling you, man, just don't do it all at once. Like I'm planning on doing it like that. Like, you know, like 1 hour here, an hour there. The movie is probably not going to be that great to keep you there anyway for 4 hours, so you're going to need a break.
I mean, I have heard plenty of different things about this movie. I've heard that it's a completely different movie. I heard that.
I've heard that too.
New thing. It's the same. It's meh. I've heard plenty of things.
See, here's the thing that I've heard the most of, right? I've heard that, yes, it is an entirely different movie, but it isn't that much better of a movie. You know? Because it's like, you know, some deleted scenes and some extra shit isn't going to save that dumpster fire. You know what I mean? Like, so it's still Ben Affleck. It's still a CG lipstick, or not lipstick, but mustached off Superman.
Yeah. Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I swear that was the thing, because one of the Supermen, I swear it was either this one or when
it was the last. It was the last one. It was the last version.
Okay, it was either that one or it was when Batman vs Superman. It was either that one or that one, but in one of them, because Henry Cavill was doing something else, he had to have his mustache CG'd off.
Yes.
So, you know, you give me that, and again, I will never accept anything that pops out like this. And I'll tell you why. Fucking Cyborg. Okay? Cyborg. Okay. Do not give me that shit, man. I like the Teen Titans here, okay? I like the Teen Titans, and especially the cartoon, the original cartoon, not that stupid ass Teen Titans Go. But Cyborg was such a funny character. He was important to his dynamic with Beast Boy in Teen Titans. You know what I mean? Like, he was important to that. And not only that, like, you can't give me Green Lantern? Are you kidding me? Like, did Ryan Reynolds really destroy it that bad? Where you guys couldn't have done, like, fucking Spider-Man over, like, 8 times over my life? Like, you know, they've had 3-4 different Spider-Men. You know what I mean? Tobey Maguire, somebody, Garfield, the new kid, and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to tell me you couldn't have found somebody brilliant to play Green Lantern. And give me any Green Lantern. If you want to be like, oh, we needed a black guy, give me the black Green Lantern. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Like, just give me the Green Lantern. Cyborg, I don't remember him ever being in Justice League comics, except for when, you know, Young Justice or whatever teamed up.
Yeah, Young Justice.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when they teamed up with the Justice League 2, then it was like, okay, then there was the crossover. And you can't even make the argument with me to be like, well, they don't own the rights because Marvel didn't own the rights to Spider-Man yet again, and they still got him into the MCU.
They struck that new deal. That new deal is something.
What you doing? I'm making a podcast. If you need money, Sony could have thrown enough, or Zack Snyder could have thrown enough. DC, all those things. So I can't get behind it. I might watch it for a little, but I can't straight up endorse it.
I will take my time and I will do this. I will watch the first hour to see how it is, and then from then on I will say, this is something I want to endure for the next 3 hours or so.
Did you watch the original?
No, I did not.
Okay.
So I'm only blind.
Me too. And see, it's funny because some of the people that I've talked to about it, they tell you, or they've told me that it's great that I didn't see the original, and that you should watch this one first if you plan on watching the original at all. You know what I mean? So you can see when you go back and you watch the original, you can see
see the changes.
Not the other way around. Not like look to see the extras that they added in, but kind of see the stuff that they took away.
Yeah. So you look like so basically that would just be going like if you watch the first movie and then watch the second movie, you're basically going to be spending 3 hours out of your time seeing the exact same movie, and then like an extra hour of probably new stuff. So even the new stuff you'll kind of have a hard time trying to see because you've already seen so much of it. It's just going to be just going to be a whole blur at that point. So I get what you're saying.
I got you. I gotta say something now too, right? Because it makes me mad. People in college right now. So I was at the weed store the other day, and there was this girl. She was in line, and she was talking, and me and we she wasn't talking. I was talking to these other women, right? And this young girl, kind of started buttoning our conversation, and then she started talking to us, and then she was like, "Yeah," and I don't remember how we got about saying it because I was just like, usually I don't come out to this one because this store don't have good weed anymore, so I usually go to the other store, but I'm here for a certain thing, right? And then this other girl was like, "Yeah, you come out and you want to get the weed, and it sucks because you got these long lines and you get anxiety, and I'm a college student and my anxiety is high enough and I have it," right? And I started laughing.
Oh god, Eddie.
I was like,
terrible start, terrible twist. I saw it coming.
Listen. It was okay when you kids, right? When we were going to college, right? Say I have anxiety from going to school, going to class, because you would have to be there every single day, and you actually had to be in attendance and all this stuff. And again, I think anxiety, mostly it's BS, kind of. I know it's not totally right, but it's like I don't understand how some people can be like, I can go here and say I work a job, right? And people say that, I used to be a manager at Sunglass Hut. Like, oh, hundreds of people in my store. I'm surrounded by hundreds of people. People are stealing all kinds of crazy stuff. Yet I can do it, right? But then you're like, I go to a party where people aren't trying to steal from me or, work or whatever money wise, you know what I mean? Because it's not a job. You're just trying to be out there and not even socialize and just have fun and be with your own friends. You don't have to make other friends, And be like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And that's what I was like. I was like, yo, how many days do you actually go to class? And she was like, 2. I was like, 2. Out of a whole entire 7 days out of the week, you go to school, physically only 2 of them. And I know you're not in school 24 hours a day. You're probably in class 2 hours, maybe an hour.
Maybe.
And you're just like, I have anxiety.
Okay, well, here's where I interject here. Some people are just extremely prone to having higher anxiety than others. Most of it is, I want to say, due to the way that our world works. Absolutely. We sort of push people to do things that they are definitely unprepared for. And through that unpreparation, that's even a word, they're sort of forced to adapt at such a, it's sort of are forced to adapt at such a fast rate that causes your heart rate to pump, your blood to start, rising up and going crazy.
Those people should die. You know what I mean? Like, dude, that's die? Like, yeah. Like, listen, I don't mean like we should just execute you, but I mean like, yeah. That's the one thing I hate about like a today's society, right? Because like being people like to forget that we are still and we are a part of the animal kingdom. If your fight or flight instinct is to lock up and just die, you deserve to die. No, I mean, like I thought about like this long time too, for the same reason that I think about the gluten allergy. Because that's just Mother Nature's way of trying to weed out people.
You think that would?
Listen, man, it is. You think about it, it's funny, it's fucked up, but it is true. You know what I mean? Because think about it, right? Hundreds of years ago, you couldn't name me a single type of culture that couldn't get through with like a grain, right? And I don't mean like bread, right? Because it's like some people can't eat corn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like the Mayan people, their whole existence was corn. You know what I mean? Like they use corn for everything, tortillas and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like they use cornmeal. They just grow thousands and you know what I mean? Corn. And it's like that. It's like people like England, right? That's more of like wheat, grain type of thing. Bread stores longer than anything else back then, right? Because it wasn't like all yeasty, it didn't get moldy, you know what I mean? Like people would just have this hard ass bread all over the place.
Yeah.
And think about it now, man. You know what I mean? We got all this shitty bread, all these preservatives in it, and we're living to be 100.
Well, Eddie, I think you can blame Mr. Columbus and Europeans and Spaniards for bringing all these ailments to the America.
I blame them all. I blame them all. The Native Americans wouldn't be standing for this shit. You know, they didn't give a shit about bread. They were eating buffalo hearts and shit.
Definitely. I mean, there are like millions of Native American cultures, and like in the Americas alone, there were like millions, and they all had their own little like setup and how things worked. It was a interesting society, and then here come the Europeans and the Spanish,
and then the white man came, and the conquistadors or the conquistadors.
Conquistadors.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, it's always funny too because a lot of people forget about the conquistadors. You know, they're just like, oh, the white man came. And it's like, yeah, they came, but they weren't alone. They weren't the first people here.
Yep, it was the French. The French was here a few times.
Hell yeah.
Dutch, the English, the Spanish, all kinds of Europeans came over here to just fuck up the life for a lot of people.
That's what's
pretty bad,
right? When you think about like the Philippines too, you know,
it's
like that. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh man, what do you speak? It's like, I speak French. I'm like, French? What the hell are they speaking French for? Oh well, you know, years and years and years ago, the French owned this motherfucker. I'm like, oh shit,
and
the French parts of Africa, the French owned. You know what I mean?
It is strange. It is strange.
It is strange.
Let's head back to more HBO Max and that rhyme for some reason. I don't know why, but
I'm glad.
What's up?
Nothing.
Yeah. Have you seen the Space Jam trailer that came out?
No, and I will not watch it.
Why are you not watching Space Jam?
Because I hate LeBron James on so many levels, and not even that. Are there any Looney Tunes that are going to be allowed in the fucking movie?
Yes.
I mean, after banning Pepe Le Pew, I mean, like, is anybody allowed in?
Yes. Apparently, Gabriel Iglesias is playing Stevie Gonzalez.
That's actually pretty good. I still won't watch it. I still won't watch it. Yo, my hate for LeBron is too strong.
Okay, so what is your issue with LeBron?
Oh my God, so many things. Would you like me to start when he was younger, or would you like me to start with more recent stuff?
Okay, for the sake of time, let's just give me your top 5 reasons why you don't like LeBron James.
Fine, that's doable. Number 1, he's a crybaby. Right?
Okay.
He's a crybaby. He is the biggest, strongest man on the court most of the time, and he cries for fouls more than anybody else I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like, he goes in seeking the contact. Like, when he was young, right? This is a 2-2. This is like 1 and 2, right? Because when he first came into the league, right, he was dubbed the chosen one, right, and all this garbage. When he was not the first person to be drafted out of fucking high school. You know what I mean? He was just the last person drafted out of high school. You know what I'm saying? Kobe was drafted out of high school. Kevin Garnett was drafted out of high school. You know what I mean? Like, lots of legends were drafted out of high school. You know what I'm saying? So he came out. He was the chosen one. He's like had a pregame fucking ritual where he would have powder by people, like that episode of like Dave Chappelle when he was like powder to smack people. That was this fucking guy from Rio. He was having like his homies pour powder in his hands, and he would throw it into the sky and all this shit, and then be like blow into his hands so the dust would come out. And that was his NBA thing for the longest time. It was a big old banner in Cleveland. It was him doing it. Fucking ridiculous, right? Then, okay, I don't really care about the whole taking my talents to South Beach thing. That's fine. You know what I mean? Like, people, sometimes you got to do it. You know what I mean? Like, you got to leave a team. Not everybody is as great as Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? But then again, that leads into my third thing, though, right? Not the fact that he left, you know what I mean? But the fact that to continuously compare him to Michael Jordan when Michael Jordan never, ever had to leave or go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, Michael Jordan never had to call up Patrick Ewing and say, let's join forces and win some NBA championships. You know what I mean? Never fucking happened. In today's day and age, LeBron's calling Kevin Durant. He's calling this guy. He's calling that guy. These guys are texting. They know when free agency's happening. Hey, you're not getting it done in Brooklyn. Come over here to me. That's why you see the Nets in this super gigantic team right now, right? All these people that couldn't really get it done on their own. you know what I mean, are coming because KD couldn't get it done on his own. He had to run away from OKC to Golden State to get it done. And Golden State was already the best team in the NBA before he joined. You know what I mean? Like, so, bam, there you go. Kyrie Irving again on the Nets, right, with KD. Right? Kyrie Irving couldn't do it before LeBron James came back from Miami to help him win it. Now, yes, he did hit those big shots at the end of Game 7 or in that to win the championship game. But without LeBron James, Kyrie Irving never even makes it to the playoffs. The Cavaliers were garbage. And then, of course, too, you put James Harden, right? He's never even been there. He's like, I only want to go to the Nets. And now they're racking up every single person, right? Boom. So I hate LeBron and James for that kind of comparison there. So that, I believe, is what, 4?
Yes.
All right. So then my last thing that I hate about LeBron James is that he's a fake social activist, right? Mm-hmm. He's a fake social activist. Like, yes, he goes out here and he's building schools and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And this is kind of why, too, I'm one of those people that's like, I don't like it when athletes talk, right? Because, yeah, they sit there and they say things, blah, 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 right? But at the bottom line is they're more worried about their pocket, their dollar, than they really are about making social change. And I'll prove it here in this, right? Because last year, when coronavirus happened, right? When coronavirus happened, well, before it happened, right? And there was that hashtag Hong Kong, free Hong Kong, save Hong Kong, all that stuff was going on, right? Remember that?
Yes.
And people were getting murdered in the streets of Hong Kong, right? And Daryl Morey, the GM, right? The general manager of the Houston Rockets, was said, put in that, hashtag save Hong Kong, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff, right? And everybody, including LeBron James, he was like the number one person, was like crucifying this guy for speaking out against injustice, right? And not even an injustice that involved his own people, right? Because Daryl Morey is a rich white man, right? He was speaking about injustice about poor Chinese people. And LeBron James is like, well, I don't know why you would open your mouth about stuff you don't know about. He did know about it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole point too, right? Like kneeling for the flag, like Colin Kaepernick did, right? You got to do something that's crazy to bring light to it, right? And he did. He was like, I'm going to tweet this on my Twitter page, or his Instagram page, whatever, you know what I mean? Someplace where instantly within the moment of him doing it, hundreds of thousands of people saw it. And nobody stood by this guy, including LeBron James. But then, you know what I mean? If something happens here in America, right? LeBron James will be like, oh, you know what I mean? He'll be all over SportsCenter saying whatever's on his mind. But it's like, but why didn't he speak up when it was all about China? Because LeBron James makes millions of dollars in China. You know what I'm saying? LeBron James didn't want to say something to upset the Chinese people from making his shoes, from buying his jerseys. You know what I mean? From doing all the stuff that has his name and face and likeness on it. Like, that's pretty fucking terrible. Like, you're not a real fucking activist. You know what I mean? Like a real person if you're only doing it in those situations, or situations where it's like, oh, it'll benefit me and my friends, or me and my people, or what in my family, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying.
And that's why I fucking hate LeBron James. Like all this, and I could go on for hours. You know what I mean? Like, I've watched a lot of basketball, you know what I mean, with LeBron James. Like, I'm a Celtics fan, you know what I mean? So I've watched, ever since LeBron James pretty much came into the league, you know what I mean, with the exception of the past few years, you know what I mean? Because I haven't had TV, and it's like, you can watch TV on the internet, but if my Boston Celtics don't usually make it in, you know what I mean? In the past few years, like I said, it's been super teams. You pretty much know who's going to win before they even win. You know what I mean? Like, again, too, when KD went to the Warriors, it was like, oh, well, they're going to win the championship. Did they win every game the whole year? No. But 3 out of the 5 years they went, they won.
Yeah. So now you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. Eddie despises LeBron James and will not be seeing Space Jam, the new legacy, even if it has characters that he holds near and dear to his heart. Also,
I might see it. Somebody might talk me into it at some point in time, but I ain't gonna go see it now. I ain't gonna go see it. But yeah, LeBron James, don't get me wrong. He is a phenomenal basketball player, right? Or he's a phenomenal talent too. Actually, you know what? I had to have a sixth thing, or maybe I didn't get to 5, but here's one thing that's actually totally 100% basketball related, along with the first thing. Like I said, he's a crybaby as far as that goes. You never want him to have the last shot in the game,
Mm-hmm.
Like when LeBron James has the ball, fourth quarter, clock is ticking. Most of the time, when the clock is at 1, he's not taking that shot. He's passing it. You know what I mean? Like he's running into the lane will collapse. He'll pass it out. Somebody, hopefully, with you know what I mean, and then they hit it, and then they win. Michael Jordan was always that person. I don't think I ever saw a game where Michael Jordan let anybody else have the ball with the last second was on the line. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
You sure?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I could find other stuff for hours. But we said top 5. That's top 5. Those are the most egregious things. Everything else would be nitpicking. Because again, too, he's a phenomenal athlete and everything else. So I'm not going to sit here and just bash the guy forever. But
okay, well, back to Space Jam. So you haven't seen the trailer. That's already been said.
Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer.
Can you guess who the main villain of the movie is?
Charles Barkley.
No, that would be cool, but no.
Danny DeVito.
No. I'm gonna say
Daniel
this.
Craig.
No, I'm gonna say this. He has been in Marvel movies since Iron Man 2.
Robert Downey Jr.?
No.
I guess it'd be Iron Man 1, wouldn't it be? Damn.
It would be Don Cheadle is the villain for Space Jam 2. Not only is he the villain for Space Jam 2, but Space Jam 2 takes place in, from what Don Cheadle calls it, the serververse, where it's basically the internet.
Well, is it really Don Cheadle, or is it more of like how they did the first one, right? It's not real Don Cheadle. It's like a CG person, and Don Cheadle is just the voice actor.
Oh, no. It is indeed Don Cheadle. It is definitely Don Cheadle.
Okay.
And do you want to know what's even more weird about this? Remember they had those trailers for Ready Player One a few years ago? Imagine that in Space Jam, because I'm seeing Iron Giant, I'm seeing video gaming characters, I'm seeing cartoon characters, movie characters. I'm seeing.
Oh, see, that's even more stupid. That's even more dumb. It's just only supposed to be Looney Tunes. That was the whole thing. I didn't see all kinds of crazy, cartoons in the original Space Jam. You know what I mean?
That's why it's weird. That is why it is weird. I asked myself, I was like, why is the Iron Giant? Why is that character here? And then they basically explained it to the serververse, which is, I guess, the internet where all information comes to a head at one point, which is the basketball game. From what I've seen, all the CG of the Looney Tunes looks fantastic. They even hand-drawn LeBron James for a few minutes of the Looney Tune verse. So it looks pretty good. The animation is pretty smooth for the Looney Tunes. However, it just looks weird. Well, I might see it because I want to see what all the hype is about for Space Jam. But yeah, so Space Jam 2 trailer drop. Go check it out. It's interesting to look at. King Kong versus Godzilla also came out, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago. No, last week or Friday, right? Wow. Mm-hmm.
Could you hear me that whole time?
No.
Oh, okay. I guess I can't let my computer go to sleep mode. What I was saying is that you couldn't really make Space Jam today anyway. You know what I mean? It's like it has to be a sequel, and not even just a nostalgia thing. But it's like nobody would really go see a basketball movie really like that. You know what I mean? It's not that era now. You know what I mean? Like people are mostly going to go see it. Why? Because their parents are going to take them to see it. Because again, it's like what we saw when we were kids. And that's a lot of the times what they try to do with these reboots, these remakes. You know what I mean? Like, the parents grew up, they enjoyed this movie. Let's remake it, kind of catch on to that for them and try and introduce it to their kids in a new, more way and get their kids hooked.
Yes.
But now, again, too, you're just going to throw in, like you said, Ready Player One. You're just going to throw in, every single cartoon and shit, in it. Like, what the hell?
It's very weird. It's kind of, you could say it's out of place.
Can LeBron James also transform now? He'll be like, and he'll just become a airplane and fly away.
I'm expecting a extremely weird thing for LeBron James to become.
Are you watching the movie?
I am going to watch Space Jam because I want to know how this movie turns out.
All the good movies that are coming out and have come out so far on HBO Max, you're going to choose to watch Space Jam?
No, I'm actually more excited for the Mortal Kombat movie than anything.
Okay.
Mortal Kombat, Kong.
Did you
Godzilla.
watch the Kong movie yet?
Hmm?
Did you watch the new Kong movie, Godzilla versus Kong?
No, I have not. It's been on my list. I've heard many things about that movie too. I've heard that it is meh. I've heard that it is eh. I've heard that it's pretty good. I've
I
heard
heard that if
plenty
you
of
want
things.
to see a movie that there's monsters beating each other up in, it's perfect.
Okay.
And that's really all Godzilla movies are anyway.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
You right? If somebody's watching Godzilla, any version of it, I don't care, and they're hoping to get like a great movie dialogue wise, then you're watching the wrong movie. Like, don't get me wrong. Today's day and age, yes, the CG, and they have and one of the Godzilla movies, they had Bryan Cranston in it. You know what I mean? Like, so they pack star power in a lot of these movies, yes. But again, I'm not watching Godzilla at all for the people in it. Like, I don't give a shit who's in it. I'm watching it to see a giant ass lizard blow things the fuck up. Okay, that's why I'm watching Godzilla.
Fair.
And as
That's
long
what
as
I'm
you're gonna
see
do
too.
that, and it's good, right? Like, don't give me fucking 2000 Godzilla. But you know what I mean? Like, don't give me fucking Michael Bay's TMNT movies. Don't give me those garbage things.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna give me like MCU universe quality CG, fucking right. You know what I mean? And plus, too, have you seen any of the other ones previously? I don't remember if I asked that already or not.
The other Godzilla movies?
Yeah, or Kong Skull Island.
I've seen Kong Skull Island. I've seen Godzilla, the first one. I didn't see the second one.
All right, so it's like CG's really good. So it's
they're Pacific Rim levels of good CG.
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, it's pretty good. I didn't say it was great, but I'm saying it's pretty good CG. So again, you at least keep that level of CG coming to me, and some decent quality acting, which they've been getting. Because again, too, Skull Island had John C. Reilly in it and had Samuel Jackson in it. And like I said, Bryan Cranston was in a Godzilla movie. You know what I mean? Like, so they've been packing in some pretty decent people.
Yeah, they have, but we all know that's not the main draw for the movies.
No, I know that's what I just said. So I'm just saying, like, as long as they get some decent people in there to act. Like I said, I don't care about the acting. I mean, I don't want it to be garbage, but I mean, I don't want it to be. It doesn't need to be great because the Godzilla movie isn't going to win Best Actor at the end of the year.
Exactly,
it's going to win Best CG at the end of the year.
Yeah, most probably.
Unless, of course, Mortal Kombat's better.
I mean, no, Mortal Kombat is what I wanted to get to. Mortal Kombat is looking so cool.
It is. Great. And it reminds me of, again, before you were born, when the original Mortal Kombat came out on movie.
I have seen this movie, Eddie. I am that young.
Oh, I'm not saying you didn't see the movie, but were you born in like 95?
No, I was not.
Exactly. So... You were born in like 2005.
But I don't think they're using CG for Mortal Kombat unless it's like unless it's like Sub-Zero shit. They're using CG, but all the blood.
They are. Some of it they are. Like, I have seen the trailer for Mortal Kombat, right?
Mm-hmm. Eddie, you cut out again. Well, it's just me here now. Don't tell me your computer died.
Damn it, I'm talking. I'll pay attention to the screen. But anyway, I'm sorry. It was said that it was a fight between Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and that Sub-Zero hit Scorpion, and then blood shot out, and then he like grabbed the blood string, and stabbed him with it. It was fucking awesome.
Exactly, and that is why I want. That is why I want this movie to be as violent as possible.
Well, it's got a rated R rating.
Yeah, but there's only so much that you can do with rated R before you go into like NC-17 area.
Well, of course, and that's why you know what I mean. Like, I mean, you can do it. I mean, because think like Deadpool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if they gave me, Mortal Kombat Deadpool-ish style, you know what I mean, where it's still kind of gory. But I mean, like, yeah, you can't go over the top crazy. But you know what I mean? Like, but unless, of course, they wanted to do, like, a la Kill Bill Volume 1 and then they go black and white.
Then they're never doing it. They can't do that. Because then that would just ruin the whole appeal of the effects.
Well, you know what they could do, right? Because they could show, of course, a few fatalities, right? They could, definitely. Like you said, they couldn't show, like, everyone's probably, like, every fatality. But they could definitely show a few, and depending on which ones, you know what I mean? But, like, they could probably probably do it also like this, right? Where it was like a situation where, say, for instance, there's a fatality where I think it's mostly all Sub-Zero's ones where like, he like reaches in, like pulls out your skeleton or something like that.
Yeah, spine. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know Scorpion has that one where he like rips off your head and then your spine sits there. So it's like they could do that, but only like in the shadow, Like for instance, like there you see the cameras on them while they're fighting the cameras on, and then all of a sudden it's like the sound will happen. Not you don't need to hear finish him unless they're in the fight, I guess. Well, actually, the fight and the finish him, like in the tournaments, those could be the fatalities we see. But like like in the original movies, like there was all this fighting done out of the tournament because they were trying to figure shit out. Like those most gruesome fatalities, I guess, could not be seen. You know what I mean? So again, too, like you'd be like, oh, they're fighting. You see him put a hand on his head, and then the camera switches to the wall where you see the backlit shadows of him ripping the head off or whatever. You know what I mean? So you just see like the shadow and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe they could do it that way. So again, too, you're still getting like the oh shit factor, but you're not getting like, oh damn, he ripped off his head. Now the body is twitching and pooping itself.
I feel like that ruined. I need to see detail. I mean, here's my prediction, right? So the movie is gonna be, let's say, an hour and a half to 2 hours long. There's gonna be it's gonna be 65% talking and walking and vistas and shit, and the last 45 is gonna be action.
Yeah.
Now within that action, I want to say a good 10% of that action, we're only gonna see about 3 fatalities. Like,
I mean, how long did you think the movie's going to be? It doesn't have a release time yet, an official time release?
It doesn't. It comes out whenever, like April 20 something or April 16th.
The 16th, yeah. So it comes out like in a week.
It's only gonna. I'm betting it's only gonna be 2 hours, an hour 30 to 2 hours long. We're only gonna see 3 iconic fatalities. So we're gonna see the spine ripping out scene.
I'd bet you it's gonna be closer to the 3-hour mark.
No.
I bet you. Think about it, right? Think about it. Movies nowadays, right, are so easily pushed to that mark. Because I was watching HBO Max, right? We're talking about releases soon, right? Dune is going to be released soon.
You're right.
You ever seen that?
I want to see Dune.
Well, I mean, have you ever seen the original Dune?
I will see Dune. No, I've never seen the original Dune.
Okay, well, it's apparently a book, right? It was a book before it was a movie.
Yeah.
And I watched the movie. I never read the book. But it's like when you watch the movie, you just have so many fucking questions. You know what I mean? Now, I know Dune is a lot more, minuscule than fucking Mortal Kombat. So there's not as much a need to, do backstory and everything like that, Mm-hmm. But think about all the next shit that they can do with Mortal Kombat. You know what I mean? Because it's like, at least through the videos that I've seen, it doesn't really seem like it's like, oh, there's a tournament. You know what I mean? It just ends up seeing like some shit goes down and then all these people go and Raiden recruits these people. You know what I mean? It's not like magically they're summoned to the tournament. And maybe they are. You know what I mean? They're just not trying to give away all the movie yet.
Yeah.
But it's like, with these things, like, with the potential of making tons of sequels, they're not going to, at least I would hope that they wouldn't just rush it. That's why I'm saying 2. I'd bet you, as long as because if the action is good and everything, nobody's going to give a shit about a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, of course.
That's why, again, too, Zack Snyder, it's like, man, you gave me a fucking 4-hour movie. What's wrong with you? 3 hours, okay. 4, and I don't even mean 3. I mean 2 hours and 43 minutes good. You know what I mean? Like 2:55, something like that. Like cut off around there. Don't give me 3:07.
Yeah.
So again, I would bet that it'd be pretty close to 3 hours, 2.5, and we get a good shit in. You got to think too, right? What would even count as a fatality, right? Because obviously in this particular movie, right, Jax loses his arms.
Yeah, they get ripped off. That's not really a fatality. That's just,
but it is in the game.
Fucked up. Is it?
Yes.
Hey, Goro, that's Goro's fatality, right?
I don't remember, but I know somebody does that, and then they just die under fatality.
I don't remember.
I swear it is. But either way, you know what I mean? That's pretty gruesome. You know what I mean? Then he comes back later.
Yeah, arms aren't as bad. I'm talking the not Scorpions take my mask off, burn people thing. No, not that. More like like MK9, ripping off torsos and brains. Like popping out of people's skulls and shit, like that kind of gore, like gore that make you go ugh, not things that you've already seen before. Like arms ripping off, you've already seen that. Heads being punched off, you've already seen that.
Not really. I mean, again, if you think about it today, most things they don't make shit like that, and it's like I don't know one horror movie they make tons of horror movies and shit nowadays. I don't see nobody's arms getting ripped off.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly in like action movies now, like rated R action movies, like Expendables or some shit.
But even then, nobody's arms got ripped off in Expendable.
Yeah, but people got blown up and splashed over the screen.
And then that's even a perfect example too, right? Because it had to have been only the first, maybe the second Expendables you was talking about. Because as they made more and more, the gore got less and less and less. Like by the time on the third one, I was like, "This is crap." But the first one, I was like, "Whoa, this guy lost a leg and a head, and a face." And the third one, they don't even show you. They're like, "Oh, that guy's dead." I'm like, "Is he though?" Like, I don't know. You guys didn't show me anything.
I don't know if he died or not. I need to know this information.
That's right. Like, how the hell are you gonna do this? My favorite line throughout any of the Expendables, I believe, was the second Expendables, though. It was the first or the second one, I can't remember. And it's when, like, all the people show up, because they almost always all show up at the end. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, shit, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Bruce Willis and all these, they're in this, but they all show up at the end. You know what I mean?
Of course, because they know they need that wow factor, yeah.
Yeah. It's open. And,
Can I get a chair?
There's chairs downstairs.
Okay.
And then, so then it's like, dang, you made me forget what I was talking about. Damn, something about the Expendables now. I can't remember. Damn, what was I saying?
It was about the Bruce Willis and Arnold popping it at the end.
Yes. Okay, so anyway, I was telling you about my favorite part in the movie. So it's like they're at the airport and all this stuff's going on, and Bruce Willis and Arnold Schwarzenegger are together, and Arnold's like, he's going to go somewhere. He's like, I'll be back. And then, and Bruce Willis is like, no, I'll go. I'll be back. You've been back enough. And I was like, damn. Oh, that's a hilarious fucking burn right there. Like, no, Arnold. I've seen where this goes.
We've all seen where this goes. Anyway, that's kind of all I have to talk about.
All right. Good place to stop anyway. Like I said, I've got to get going there. This is episode 2 of ENR Radio. We got some other things to come at you next week with us and the perverted Beg as the Craig Bear. That's what I was going to call him. Beg Craig Bear. He's the same guy.
No, you might want to call him Naughty Bear from now.
Oh shit! Again, that makes me think of that skit, man. Don't wake the bear, because it might want to fuck. Remember that?
I don't remember that, but we're gonna end on that note.
I'll send it to you. See you next week.
Okay.